Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shannon and I'm a professional pet portrait and wildlife artist and I specialise in coloured pencils, so if that's of interest to you then keep watching. Today is the start of another studio vlog, so come and spend a few days with me as I get up to all sorts of different bits and bobs. So this week is a very exciting week because I have got something to show you. For a long time now, pretty much since I went on a trip to Kenya last year, I have been banging on about how I really want to invest in a camera to do some of my own wildlife photography, because a lot of the references that I use for my realistic artworks are from other photographers, either where I've asked permission to use the photo or I found it on a royalty-free stock photo website, which is all well and good, but I've just had this yearning to start doing my own photos and videos. So after borrowing my friend's camera for the Kenya trip, I decided to save up and get myself a camera. So the one that I decided to go for is the Sony a6700, and it's a mirrorless camera. There's a lot of technical details when it comes to cameras like this, but to cut long story short, it's a mirrorless camera, so it's not a DSLR like a lot of the older models are. It's a new model, can't remember the year that it was made, but it basically does all of the things that a lot of the really expensive full frame cameras do, but it's quite a lot cheaper and the frame of the photo is just cropped in a little bit. So say I'm focusing on a bird outside, instead of having this much of a photo, I'll have this much of a photo, which for me really isn't a big deal because most of the time I end up cropping the images anyway, and if it means that it's going to be about half the price, then I am game for that. I didn't want to spend a whole load of money on this. I kind of wanted to get something that I wouldn't be afraid to take out with me like all the time. If I got a really expensive camera, I just know I'd be paranoid about taking it anywhere. I bought this from somebody on Facebook Marketplace actually, so I got it secondhand, but he only recently purchased it, so it's only been used a few times, and it even came with a little silicone case. So that is the body of the camera. Because it's a cropped sensor, the actual camera is a lot smaller than some of the more expensive models, but it does a lot of the same things, so I'm really pleased with it. I ended up paying £1,350 for it, but came with the lens as well, which is probably not the best lens that you could have, but I can use it for a variety of different things because it's 18 to 135 millimeters, so it can zoom in a little bit, and I have tested it a couple of times outside and it zooms in just enough to see things that are like about 10 foot in front of me, so I'm happy with that to get started, and eventually I'm going to invest in one of those really long lenses like the ones that everyone had on the Kenya trip. So yeah, it's a starting point for me, and I'm also hoping that this will be really good for filming my tutorials and just little bits of clips in the studio and stuff. But I'm just really excited for this new chapter. I feel like for a long time I've been really sort of in a bit of a limbo state where I know that I want to try new things and slightly change the direction that I'm going in, but I've not really been able to do that. So taking this step I think is the first step towards getting to where I want to be. But obviously I'm still loving what I'm doing now, but I just really want to get into photography and videography, and this will be great for the Italy trip that I'm going on in July, where I'm going to Puglia with some of you guys. So I'll be able to take some photos and videos whilst I'm there. So I'll just show you what it looks like with the lens on. So that is the crop sensor. This is also going to be amazing for when I go to the US on my road trip. Lots of exciting things coming up, and this is just making me even more excited. So this is what it looks like when the lens is on. So it's not that heavy at all. It's a really good size. It's big enough for me anyway, and I'll be more likely to take this out and about on walks and days out because it's not too heavy. So yeah, I'm really excited to try doing some footage in this vlog. This is going to be my first proper time testing it out, but for the first time in about a month and a half, the weather's pretty shocking, so we'll see about that one, but definitely in this vlog at some point I will be testing that out properly. So yeah, long introduction there, but I just really wanted to introduce you to my new toy and sort of explain why I've been struggling to get going on here again. I feel like I've not posted consistently in months and months and months, and a lot of the reason for that was because I've just been feeling very uninspired, and I'll film a vlog or something and I'll go to edit it and I'm just like, I feel like I'm finding myself very boring. And I think it's because I want to be a lot more cinematic with my videos. So hopefully you will like the new direction that we're going to be going in. And as well, I've also been struggling with storage on my laptop, which is really frustrating because there's not a lot I can do about that. But today I've had a really organised morning. I've sorted all of my footage out that was on my SD card from my vlog camera, and I've organised it into different folders. So if I ever need to go back and use some of that footage for future videos, I can do. I feel like I can film again now without feeling overwhelmed by all the files that I've got on here. So yeah, technical issues, motivation issues, and just general busyness. I've been doing so many different things. I had a workshop on Friday. I haven't got another one now until the 11th of July, so I've got about a month off, and I do have some plans for other bits and bobs that I want to do in that time. But the great thing is I am going to have more time to get on with the stuff that I love doing, which is making videos. I wanted to show you this coloured pencil piece that I've been working on recently, and it's of this macaw, and I did the background for it. It's one of the first full backgrounds that I've ever done. I'm not 100% happy with it, to be honest, but I have been working on a video all about hacks for blending in coloured pencils, and I ordered a few different things to try and I tested them out on this background. So that video will already be live on my channel now. I will link it down below if you want to go and watch it. But I basically tested out the Zest-It pencil blend fluid, the Derwent blender pens, which I love, and the Derwent burnisher. And these are all things that I've been recommended to try in my in-person workshops, so I've been really wanting to give them a go for a while. This is how it turned out. I did use some pan pastels as well, which is something that I've never tried before. I would love to invest in some more pan pastels, but very spenny, so I think it'll take me a while to build a collection of those up, especially after I've just purchased this. So yeah, I am on a spending ban for a while now. I actually just started to really brighten up outside, so I'm gonna take my camera out in the garden and have a little bit of a play around and see what footage I can get. I've still got a lot to learn about all of the different settings on this camera, but there's only one way to learn properly, and that is to keep on practicing. But I'm really pleased with how a lot of this footage has turned out. I'm so lucky to have this much wildlife on my doorstep. I could quite literally sit out here for hours. So the camera isn't the only new thing around here. I've also had a little bit of a revamp of my studio. I've also been saying for a while that I've been wanting to change things around a little bit. The setup just wasn't working for me, and I went and bought myself a new desk. So it is the Flexi Sport Pro standing desk. I'll put the exact one in the description because I can't remember the model details. But you can alter the size of it so you can make it into a standing desk or, as it is now, seated. And I just find that so handy because sometimes I just don't want to sit down. I want to stand up, move my legs around a little bit, and I focus better when I'm stood up. And it's also great if I'm like wrapping something and I'm having to move around and grab different things. It's honestly such a game changer. Again, it wasn't cheap, but I knew that I wanted to invest in something proper that's going to be nice and sturdy and it's going to last. So yeah, I've had a bit of a switch around. I had 2 little units here and now I've just got the big one. And I also got myself this organiser, and these are all my workshop pencils. It wasn't really doing me any good when they were all away in my box that I take with me. Ideally, I want to be able to see what I've got in front of me so that I can keep a stock check and make sure that I've got all the right coloured pencils for whatever upcoming workshops I've got. But also, if I'm choosing new subjects, I can see what I've already got and sort of try my best to pick subjects that I've already got quite a few colours for. So I just really like having them out, and it makes it feel more like an art studio in here, having all those colours out. So yeah, love it. I'm really pleased. I moved my IKEA board over here. So now I've just got a big blank wall here, and ideally I really wanted to put some of my own artwork here, like the big bald eagle drawing that I've got, but the radiator's there, so I feel like anything that I put there, it's just gonna like crinkle the paper, damage it. Don't really know what to do there because I don't want to ruin any of my drawings. And then at this side I now have the smaller unit instead of the writing desk because it was really doing my head in. I feel like it's quite modern in here now, and it just wasn't really fitting with the style of my studio. The old house that I was in was very rustic and farmhouse style, but in here it's a lot more clean and modern, so I just didn't feel like it looked right. Wasn't using it that much, and also it smelled really old, and it was just every time I walked into my office I was just like, don't like the smell of it in here. So I just took it back to the place that I bought it from so they can resell it on to somebody else. Now I need to get on with some bits for my part-time job, so I'll probably catch you up either later on today or tomorrow. It's a very grim, windy and wet day today, and I am doing all sorts of different bits of admin this morning. I need to add a new web page for my latest Patreon tutorial, so I'm just doing that now. I like to have all of the coloured pencil list detailed on my website, so if anyone wants to try any of the tutorials, they already know everything they'd need to buy ahead of it before committing to signing up to my Patreon. So been really trying to get up to date with those recently. Sorry if my laptop's a little bit loud. I'll just show you. So these are all my tutorial pages, so all I need to do is go in and add a new one here. So it's for that Macaw that I did, and it is a fundamentals tutorial, so I'm going to fill all this in now. It's not particularly interesting, but it's all part of what I need to do. Here we go, so I've just finished doing the Macaw tutorial. These are all the fundamentals tutorials that I've done over the years, all listed on this webpage. They are linked on the tier information on my Patreon, so you can have a look through all of these. I think I might link them up to my website on the tutorials page though, just so they're easier to access. I hate these. This is when I was really struggling to do lots of tutorials every month, so I just did some focus tutorials of the advanced tier. So don't love those, to be honest, but it is what it is. So these are all the different tutorials that you can do, and the pages look something like this. So all of the information, the paper that I've used, what to expect, any additional supplies that I've used, links to the line drawing, the reference photo, and then the coloured pencil list. So everything is on there. You can go to each part. So if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy navigating Patreon, which I know a lot of people don't because it's not the easiest platform to use, this will hopefully help you to navigate it a little bit easier. So yeah, every page has all that info on here. And I did this using Wix Dynamic Pages, which is a whole other explanation in itself, but it just makes things easier because I am running out of pages on my website, so I've been gradually adding them all into these dynamic pages. So yeah, that is another one ticked off the list. I do feel like I can tell a difference in my work when I've started using the Fabriano again, since it's changed back to the original texture. Like, I love these drawings, but I just feel like I always prefer Fabriano drawings. That one I did on Strathmore Bristol Vellum. That one I did on Bockingford or Canson Moulin de Roy. I think it was Canson, yeah. Strathmore, Canson, Moulin de Roy. And I feel like they've got a much softer look to them when I use the Canson, which is lovely. But I think these days I prefer a more vibrant drawing. So yeah, I've also got one for the advanced here. So these are all the advanced tutorials. Quite a lot to get through. So if you do fancy coming and joining me over on Patreon, there's plenty of content to work at. And I hope you enjoy drawing some of these with me. Speaking of Patreon, I'm now going to make a start on my current tutorial that I'm working on, which is of a wolf in coloured pencils. And I've been requested to draw a wolf for the longest time, so the fact that we're actually drawing one is lovely. And this is on the advanced tier, with it being a big full animal. So this is what we've got so far, and I'm gonna set my camera up and get ready to start. I would love to try this out with my new camera, but because I've already started this tutorial, I don't really want to go changing the quality halfway through, because I'm a bit of a weirdo for consistency and it would bother me if the quality just suddenly changed. So I'd rather use that at the start of a new tutorial, and then at least the series is the same all the way through. So still using my Canon M100 for now. I get a lot of questions about which camera I use for tutorials, and for the past few years all I've used is this one. It's a nice little small sized camera and it's done the job for me. It's not the best camera in the world, but it wasn't very expensive either. I'm definitely going to work on the ear today, so I'll see how far I get. I might be able to get 2 done, but definitely this ear at least, this left one. So let's get started. This is where it starts getting a little bit confusing. I'm multitasking. I'm going to film the tutorial video, the video for this vlog, and I'm also going to film an Instagram reel on my phone. So I've got 3 cameras on the go at the minute, but that is just what it's like when you're trying to create content at the same time as doing something. Yeah, I'm going to really take my time with this and make sure I get good clips for all 3 cameras. I've just had a bit of lunch and I'm going to come back and do the second ear now. So I think this will probably take me like another 45 minutes or so. It'll be a bit of a longer video, but it just wasn't quite long enough doing that one ear. So let's get stuck back into it. There we go, that is the finished 4th part of the wolf tutorial. And like I said, this is on the advanced plus tiers, so I've got the advanced and expert tiers that you can access this on. And I've also posted the reference poll for our next fundamentals tutorial, which I'll show you. So for our next tutorial, you can choose between a white tiger eye, an owl eye, 2 different tree frogs, and a cat ear and a partial bit of a face focus study. I've had a lot of requests for cat ears or cat fur, so I thought it'd be nice to include it. I'm really intrigued to see which one wins. I feel like out of these I would probably choose one of the frogs, just because I haven't drawn a frog since I did my GCSEs at school. I remember doing a frog. I'll put it on the screen now if I can find a picture of it. It was so long ago. I feel like I've improved a lot since then, but I was really proud of it at the time. And I did it in very thick coloured pencils, which I've not seen them around again since school. I've not seen them for a long time. So yeah, it'd be interesting to do a frog, but I am happy to do any of those. I'm now going to have a look at ordering a sample print from Gelato. I told Matt, my friend who came on the Kenya trip, who took the lion reference that I used for my Patreon tutorial, a long explanation. Anyway, I told Matt that I would send him a print of the lion because I used his photo and it was really generous of him. So I've been having a bit of a think about what I want to do with my online shop. I feel like I don't love the process of making prints. I quite enjoy making greeting cards and, you know, they don't take me that long, but I think prints, I don't know what it is. I feel like I want to maybe outsource them, and I keep seeing artists posting about gelato, so I thought I might as well do a test print and see if I like it. So I'm gonna give it a go doing one of the lion cub and see what I think. Okay, I've just ordered a test print of this lion cub piece that I did. I have edited it all myself on my own software on Affinity Photo, but then I've just uploaded it into the design software on Gelato. But basically my thought process with this is I don't really have that many like truly passive income streams. A lot of the things that I do involve a lot of intense time and effort, and obviously creating prints involves effort, but Gelato do drop shipping, so you can connect it all up to your own website. They go through Wix and all sorts of other companies, and if a customer places an order on my website, it then just goes directly to Gelato and I don't need to print everything out. It would save me a lot of time and effort, and I feel like I don't really push my prints a lot at the minute because they take me so much time to make. I don't fully enjoy the process of making them, so if I could still sell prints but not have to lift a finger printing them and stuff, that would be amazing. And the quality that I've seen on other people's Instagrams and stuff, they look amazing. So I'm willing to give it a go, because if I could just do something else that didn't involve taking up loads of time, then that would be great, because it would be nice to have my artwork on more walls around the country or even around the world, but I just don't have the time to fully dedicate to running an online shop at the minute. I do my Etsy orders. I get like a few greeting card orders, sometimes a day, sometimes a week, and I don't really make much of it, to be honest. It's just a nice thing to have. Oh, it's following me. It's just a nice thing to have and a nice way to get my work out there. That's going to arrive next week, I think. So now I am going to spend the next hour or so working on my part-time job for Crowdfunder, doing a bit of work for them, and then I will catch you up. It's a few days later now and I've got a few Etsy orders to pack today and send out. I've got 4 orders and they're all for Tabby Cat cards. So there was just one little thing that I wanted to show you that I've changed with my greeting cards. So I used to send them in cellophane sleeves like this one, and they are compostable, so they're plastic free. I'm trying to simplify things and save money where I don't necessarily need to spend too much. And I ordered some cards from Thoughtful for friends' birthdays, and they came without a cellophane sleeve. So I just thought, if the big brands are doing it, there's no reason why I shouldn't do it. So instead of using the sleeves, I am now using a little plain sticker that peels off really easily just to keep the cards together. And the do not bend envelope that I put it in should keep it dry. They're not really in transit for very long, so I mean, it's worth a try anyway, see how I get on having no cellophane on the cards. The reason that I wanted to have a cellophane sleeve in the first place was because I was doing craft fairs, and I thought with a lot of people like going through the cards and touching them, I kind of wanted them to be more protected. But because I pretty much just print the card the day that I dispatch the order and then it is in the post for like 2 or 3 days, I'm quite happy to go without a cellophane sleeve now. So saves me a little bit of time, saves me a bit of money, and still looks nice and professional. So I do have 3 more of these that I'm going to cut out and turn into greeting cards, and then I can send those out today. I wanted to chat to you about an idea that I had. Basically, I've got so much stock of things like gift tags, bookmarks, some older greeting cards in like different card stocks that I don't use anymore. And I've been thinking about doing some mystery boxes either on my Etsy or my own website, probably both to be honest, where it's like a discounted box of goodies and you don't know what you're going to get. You'll get like one bookmark, one set of gift tags, greeting card, whatever. I'm not fully decided yet, but it'll be for like £5 a box or £10 a box depending on what you get. And I think it would be like a fun way of selling off some of my stock, and then I've got a little bit more storage space, but also like the excitement of not knowing what you're going to get could be quite fun. So let me know what you think of that, because I have so many bookmarks and gift tags, and yeah, I need something, I need somewhere for them to go. They can't just stay here forever. This is the label paper that I'm using, by the way. I'll link it down below where I got it. It's removable labels and it's so quick and easy to just pop them over the card, and it looks really neat and it prevents waste as well, so I'm all about using as little waste as possible. So that is all of the cards done, and it's so much quicker than usual. That sun is very bright. So I just need to do my labels now and get all these packed up. These washi tapes that I've ordered are actually adorable. There's so many. I'm going to show you some of them. So I use a lot of washi tape for all sorts of different things. It's like my new weird obsession. I use it to stick my drawings down when I'm filming tutorials so that my paper doesn't move. I use them to create that clean line around the edge of some of my drawings if I'm doing like a background or an edge. I use them for putting my pencil packs together for my workshops. So I use them for a lot of things, and I like to buy aesthetic washi tape that's like got a bit of a nature theme to it and try and match it up to the drawing and stuff like that. I just think it looks really good on social media as well. Makes the video a little bit more interesting sometimes. So I ordered a shed load of washi tape on Amazon. It was only £10 and you get loads and loads of different ones. And look how pretty they are. So they're all nature themed, which works really well for what I'm doing. There's so many. So it's really good because I can just match the colour up to the drawing that I'm doing. So I'll also leave a link down below to these because that's a really good value for money. I feel like these will get a lot of use. They're so pretty. Yeah, that's enough washi tape, I think, for a long time. I don't need to buy any more of that. So today, now, what else do I need to do? Oh, I did actually want to show you my lion cub finished piece because I didn't show it yet in my last vlog, and I also wanted to show you my finished hippos piece because I had so many lovely kind comments on the previous vlog where I was partway through drawing it, and I ended up entering it into the David Shepherd Wildlife Artist of the Year competition, which is probably one of the biggest wildlife art competitions out there, and all the money that's raised goes towards wildlife conservation. So it's all for a good cause, and it's also a great way to get your work out there and see if it's competition level. So I think we hear back about that in June, July time. The 4th of June now, so I imagine that's very soon. I'm going to check. It says artists will be notified in mid-June 2025, which is very soon. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much about getting through. It's just the taking part that's nice, and it's something that I'll probably enter every year. So if not this year, then hopefully next year. So this is my finished lion cub drawing. I've just mounted it quickly so that you can see what it would look like mounted, and I am so happy with how this one turned out. I really want to do another lion cub from the same set of photographs. Matt's got another image where the lion cub's like stretching its paw out, and I'm really considering having a go at that one. Maybe that could be next year's David Shepherd Wildlife Artist entry. Food for thought. But anyway, the finished piece. And this piece is for sale as well if you'd like to purchase the original. I haven't yet received the print from Gelato, but it is out for delivery, so I might have to show you the print in the next vlog if it doesn't get here before the end of this week. That is the finished lion cub, and if you want to draw this with me, this whole drawing, you can do on the advanced tier of my Patreon, and I've got the page with all of the materials list filled out. Really pleased with that one, and if I had the wall space, I would display that on my own wall. That is the only place that I could put it, and like I said, I think the radiator might potentially damage it, which we don't want. I could always put a print up. I might do that. I might make a print for myself to go up on that wall, and then at least if the print gets damaged, it's not the end of the world. So this is my finished hippo piece that I've entered into the David Shepherd Wildlife Artist of the Year competition. And I'm not going to lie, when I first finished it, which was the day before the deadline, I really didn't like it. I managed to end up hating it because obviously I've been spending so long staring at it, which is often the case. You end up starting to hate your own work. But after I entered it, I put it away and I didn't look at it for about a month, to be honest. And now I actually really like it, so I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I do apologise if the camera's a bit shaky at any point. But I love all of the sand detail, all of the little marks on the hippos, the little oxpeckers. I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and if you're new to my vlogs and you've never watched any of them before, I basically took this reference myself while I was out in Kenya on safari in the Masai Mara. So if you want to go and watch my experience in Kenya and see what I got up to, what animals I saw, I do have a vlog series on this channel. There's 2 different vlogs and you can see exactly what we got up to and where this moment in time is from. So yeah, I'm hopeful because I've taken my own reference that I might be able to get through, but I'm not holding out hope. We'll just see what happens. But I ended up titling this Mellow in the Mara because, like I said, it's in the Masai Mara and I took this photo in the Mara River. I think this area is the bit that I'm the least satisfied with. If I had a lot more time, I would have spent longer getting all of these little details in the right place. I feel like there's a lot of detail there and not so much anywhere else. I feel like it's not quite as balanced as I would have liked it. Maybe a little bit more detail down here would have balanced it out. But you're not allowed to make any tweaks once you've entered it, so not the end of the world. If I don't get through, then I'm going to add some more detail here and then call it finished. So there's win-wins to each situation. I was hoping to do the full sheet of paper and bring the background all the way up and down, but I didn't have time, so I just did the central bit. And now that I've done that, I actually quite like that. I feel like that would be a lovely way to do a series of drawings, like have the background but only come down so far and only come up so far. I think it's quite nice doing it that way. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I had such lovely feedback and some of you were really interested to see if I'd get through and were like wishing me luck and stuff, so we will find out in a few weeks, I imagine. I just thought I would also mention I used Canson Moulin de Roy hot press watercolour paper for this drawing and mostly Caran d'Ache luminance pencils and Faber-Castell polychromos. Would I use the Canson again? I wouldn't rush back to it, to be honest, but I think for this piece, because it's so soft, it worked really well. And in hindsight, it probably would have been so much easier if I used pan pastels for the background. I probably would have got a lot more done a lot more quickly, but I'm actually really happy with the texture of it, so it's all good and it's all a learning curve. Okay, so for my next fundamentals tutorial on Patreon, we're going to be drawing this owl eye. I need to do the line drawing and scan it in and upload it onto my Patreon, and then we can get started with the tutorial. I'm also planning out the next couple of tutorials after that as well, because these references also had a lot of interest. So we're going to do the tree frog after the owl eye and then do this little focus section of a cat's face and ear. I feel like cats are something that a lot of people struggle with, and doing a full cat's face is a lot of work. There's a lot of details, so much to consider. So doing a little focus section I think will be very helpful for a lot of people. So So I've just printed out 2 different size options for the owl eye tutorial. When I do a fundamentals tutorial, more often than not, it's just like a small focus section, so I don't want to do it too big. That's 5 by 5 inches, and I think that's a little bit too big. That's 4 by 4. I think that is a bit more realistic. I don't want it to take hours and hours and hours. They're designed to take like, you know, 3 or 4 videos to complete. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the 4 by 4 inch, and I'm going to use my graphite paper to trace that down, then scan that in and get it uploaded to Patreon. I'm going to use a piece of Fabriano hot pressed 640 GSM for this. So because this drawing is going right up to the edge, I do want to use a new washi tape. So, which one do we go with? I'm going to try and match it to the colours, maybe an orange. I think I'm going to go with this one to match the orange colours in the eye. There we go, that's all ready to start the line drawing. So I just had to make a slight adjustment. I did the size ever so slightly wrong once I'd added the tape, and I also used one of the rubbish pieces of Fabriano. This is back to the original surface now since I last bought it, so I would much rather use that version. That fits perfectly now, the 4 by 4 inch. So all you have to do is measure your washi tape and add that to each side. So 4 inch plus whatever that is at each side will get your actual paper size. So I am going to add the line drawing now. So this is the transfer paper that I'm using for the outline, and all you have to do is stick the darker side down onto your paper. As you might be able to see, I have done a hair already on this piece, but you can reuse it. So you can just use it as many times as it lasts for. And it's a little bit mucky, you do get little bits of graphite on your hand, so you have to be quite careful, but all you have to do is pop that down on your drawing paper like that, stick the reference on top, and then you can draw over the reference. Sometimes it's actually best to put the reference on first and then graphite paper underneath. So you get something like that. It is easier when the sizing is all the same, but I don't really want to waste that paper and cut it just for the sake of this. So now all I'm going to do is trace over the details, and you don't want to press too hard because with the macaw drawing it left some indentations in the paper. I'm going to be a bit more careful this time. Sometimes it's actually a bit better to use a blunter pencil. See how that's transferring down? The great thing is you only have to do one transfer, unlike with tracing paper where you have to do 2 or 3 depending on whether you draw the image backwards or not. There we go. So it's a little bit on the lighter side. That piece of graphite paper must have had a few uses, but it's all good. I should hopefully be able to darken that up a little bit on my Affinity photo editing software. So I need to scan that in, and I've just had a delivery of the print that I ordered from Gelato, so fingers crossed it's going to be fine. I know that I've made a mistake on it, but I'm going to check it very shortly. There we go, so I've added the owl eye line drawing to Patreon, so everyone can go and download it and get the line drawings ready for when we start the tutorial. I'll probably begin filming next week because I've got the wolf to do this week, and I also really need to make a start on the kingfisher drawing for my next workshop in July, which is next month. I need to start on the flamingo drawing for the Italy trip, which is next month. Where is the time going? And I also really want to do a live workshop in June. So I really need to get a shifty on and do all of these different drawings. I'm thinking with the flamingo, instead of doing my usual like filmed tutorial, I might just make PDFs. It's not guaranteed that I'm going to have a screen in the studio, so I don't want to go to all the trouble of making a tutorial to then not even be able to show it and still have to do workbooks anyway. So thinking if I just do it like photos of the progress and make PDFs, I think that might be the way to go forward with that. And then I can sort of just do that in my own time with music on, and you know, I don't need to edit all the videos together, and then I only need to do the Kingfisher and prepare for the live. So yeah, just thinking out loud again. But I'm gonna show you the gelato print now and see if it's any good. Oh, it's printing quite dark and dull. It's a little bit lacking colour. I did turn the saturation down, thinking whenever I've used like printed.com before, it always goes really vibrant, so it's nice, but it's not quite the right colours. That's always the risk you take when you use an online printing company. But I suppose that's the beauty of ordering a test print. It is still nice. I mean, it's a little bit on the moodier side compared to the original. And I'll probably print one myself for Matt because I want him to have the proper colours. But I might use that myself and put that up on my wall somewhere. It's just not quite the right colours. And I do like my work to be a little bit more vibrant, but can you see the mistake that I made there? I didn't fully crop all of the original paper off the scan. Yeah, I think it is lovely quality though. Let's open it up. It feels like nice paper. It's literally just the colours aren't right, but that's probably my fault for taking the saturation down anyway. I suppose next time I'll know that I need to up the saturation. Probably looks fine on camera, and it does look fine in real life. It's just not quite the right colours. I'll compare it to the original so you can see what I mean. Okay, actually, now that I'm looking at them side by side, I don't think it is desaturated. I think it's just got a little bit more contrast than the original. So that is the original, that is the print, and there's really not a lot in it. I'm really surprised at that. I thought it was so different to the original, but it's not. It's just a little bit darker in places, which is quite nice. Once I've mounted it, hopefully I should be able to cover that a little bit up. Yeah, let me know what you think about the quality down below. Perhaps next time I will just turn the contrast down a little bit and then it's not so dark in the darker values. But do you know what? That's actually pretty good. I'm impressed with that. This is what it looks like once it's got a mount in front of it. I still think I might reprint it for Matt because you can see that little line that I annoyingly left on. I'm so impressed by the quality. My editing needs a little bit of work, but not that much. Also, how good does that look with a coloured mount? That's the only thing about printing with like drop shipping companies. You won't be able to send mounted prints like this, but how often do people end up keeping the mounts? I see a lot of the time people replace them and put them into their own frames with different mounts anyway, so might be worth just parting ways with the mounts. Okay, I've just done some little test prints with my Epson ET8500 and I'm gonna go with this version. I think it looks pretty close to the original, so see how this turns out. That is pretty accurate, minus the rock, which has gone a little bit greener than the reference, but not that much, honestly. It's very, very close. So I'm going to send him this print, and I'm going to keep that one for myself, like I said. I'm going to see which mount he wants. I have pretty much a full pack of the Epson Fine Art Cotton textured natural paper, which is what I use for prints at the minute. And there's no point me rushing into doing any like print on demand dropshipping services because I might as well use all of that. But I think what I might eventually do is phase out the mounts, and I could just send the prints in a do not bend envelope in a little sleeve, and then people can just do whatever they want with them. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you really think having a mount is like really important if you're buying a print, or would you just prefer to buy a print like that? I feel like I would just buy a print like that personally. I feel like I definitely do not promote my prints and stuff like that anywhere near enough as I should do, and I think a lot of that is because I don't want to have to do loads of mounting, which is stupid because this could be like a whole other avenue of my art business. So I do think I need to cut the part out that I don't enjoy as much, which is mounting, and just send them like this. I feel like that is enough, and not everybody wants to mount a print. Some people just like to pop them straight in a frame. I think that might be the way forward for me, and then I'll probably be more inclined to push them on social media and stuff like that, because the quality of these prints is so nice. Anyway, I think it's quite a nice day. It's a bit windy, but it's pretty sunny out there. It's currently nearly 4:30 and I've not really been outside today, to be honest. And I recently found out I'm a little bit deficient in vitamin D. So I've been taking vitamin D tablets and I honestly feel so much better for it. And I've also been thinking to myself, I really do need to get outside more and stop sitting in these four walls. So I'm gonna go for a little walk to the pond that's just a little bit further down the road, and there's often loads and loads of geese there. So I'm gonna take my new camera and see if I can get some nice footage of the geese to end this vlog off. The main thing that I've realised lately, and I've sort of summed up in this vlog in a very long-winded way, is that I definitely do not spend enough time outdoors, and being outdoors, surrounded by nature and wildlife, is what truly inspires me. For the past few years, I've tried almost every avenue to grow my business and see what sticks. And I think now's the time that I'd like to simplify things and focus on what I'm actually best at and what fills me with passion. I'm excited to see where wildlife photography and videography could take me as I develop my skills and eventually invest in more lenses. This Arctic tern has been nesting on these eggs for the past week, and I would have loved to have got a better shot of this, and that's something that a longer lens will allow me to do eventually. But until then, I am still really enjoying the direction that my content is going in. If you enjoyed this video, it would be incredible if you could give it a like, because it really does help my channel out. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and I will see you a lot sooner than last time for another video. So have a wonderful day, and bye for now.